Hello Canada, my name is Camille Labchuk and I'm running to become Canada's next great Prime Minister. Today I'll be responding to question 3 posed by the CBC. Did the Governor-General make the right decision when she granted Stephen Harper's request to prorogue Parliament? I fundamentally believe that the Governor-General made the wrong decision, and I'll explain why after a brief recap of the situation. At the end of November, the Prime Minister presented an economic update that was unacceptable to the opposition parties for many reasons, but chiefly because it lacked any semblance of an economic stimulus, it rolled back labor rights, and it chipped away at pay equity. The opposition parties said that they would vote against these measures, and thereby signaled that they had lost confidence in the Prime Minister. Now, in a parliamentary democracy, a Prime Minister only governs so long as he or she holds the confidence of the House of Commons. Stephen Harper's Conservative Party holds only a minority of seats in the House of Commons, and so relies on the support of the opposition parties to govern. The opposition parties agreed to work together and form a coalition government of Liberal and NDP MPs supported by the Bloc Québécois on confidence motions. The response from the Prime Minister to this coalition was incredibly hypocritical. He essentially accused Liberal and NDP MPs of treason for working with the Bloc, despite having mused in 1996 about working with Quebec nationalists to seize power. He called the coalition illegitimate and undemocratic, despite having tried to form a similar coalition as opposition leader in 2004. As a CBC reporter covering the story said that week, one of the challenges in covering this event was that there was so much misinformation coming from the Prime Minister and his deputies that it was difficult to correct it all in a timely fashion. The Prime Minister has been outright lying to Canadians about this situation from day one. Now on to the Governor-General's decision. After delaying a confidence vote once, desperation led the Prime Minister to Rideau Hall, where he asked the Governor-General to prorogue Parliament. She granted him this request, and while there was nothing constitutionally incorrect about her doing so, I nonetheless believe it was the wrong decision. There's one main reason for this. The Prime Minister had lost the confidence of the House of Commons. 166 MPs, which is most of the House, had sent her letters confirming this. I don't believe that a Prime Minister who has lost the confidence of the House and is clinging to power through procedural tricks and political maneuvering has a mandate to prorogue Parliament mere weeks after an election. A stable coalition of opposition MPs sat ready and willing to take up the task of governing this country and solving the economic crisis. I believe that under the circumstances, Michaëlle Jean should have given this coalition the chance to govern. Canadians can't afford 7 weeks of parliamentary inaction during an economic crisis. But what I find the most disturbing about this decision is that it has set a very dangerous precedent. The Governor-General has essentially paved the way for any Prime Minister in the future to similarly thwart democracy and avoid critical votes for partisan advantage. This means that a minority government in the future that fears losing a vote and feels like it's in trouble now has a precedent for prorogation. This rubber stamp precedent is very dangerous, and I believe it may impede democracy significantly in the future. So to summarize, I believe that Michaëlle Jean's decision was not only wrong, it was also unfortunate. She missed a prime opportunity to remind the Prime Minister that Canada is a parliamentary democracy and that the will of Parliament must prevail. I believe she should have made a different decision. She should have told the Prime Minister to go face Parliament, allow the confidence motion to proceed, and if he loses and cannot command the respect of the House of Commons, then he can no longer govern, because that's the way our parliamentary democracy works. So thank you so much for listening today.